Shalom, family. You are now tuned to TMHC TV. Where here it's about knowledge, family, love, and most of all, respect. First off, we're going to give all praises to the Most High, the Creator. I'm your host, Gadiah Yasharala. I'm here in the building with my boy D-Red, the Blue Collar Scholar, my co-host. And tonight we having a discussion with the brothers, and we have no other than In the Black Media in the building. We finna sit back and get a discussion in and talk about things that relate to the community. So we're not gonna let the people keep waiting. We're gonna let D-Red jump on in and go on and introduce yourself to the people, and let's get this show started.
Shit, what it do, baby? It's your boy D-Red, aka the Blue Collar Scholar, man. Hey, we got my boys in here, man. I was on their show. They showed me love. You know what I'm saying? I got much love for these cats, man. They do their thing in the media. They got In the Black 1, they got In the Black 2, In the Black Reloaded, In the Black Music. You need to subscribe to all of them, man. They're my boys, man. And we got my boy Ogar in the building. We got my boy Solar Mind in the building, man. So shoot, everybody introduce yourselves, man. Let the people know what it do.
Peace, family. I'm Solar Mind from In the Black Media. It's a pleasure being on the show. I'm looking forward to building with y'all brothers. And like what the brother said, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, In the Black Media, In the Black Media 2, In the Black Media Reloaded, In the Black Media Live, and In the Black Hip Hop News. I appreciate the love, family.
Peace, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, my bad, man. I'm just getting in the door. I'm gonna fix my camera in a minute. This brother, oh God, as you know, we got numerous channels on YouTube. You know what I mean? We got started on Blog Talk Radio. Everybody knows that, you know what I mean? And man, we just trying to do our best, to help black people in any way that we can. You know what I mean? By reporting the news and eventually trying to build some some institutions where we can all benefit from, and some businesses. You know what I mean? So, we following the footsteps of the late great ancestors, Marcus Messiah Garvey, Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad, etc. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing is a great teacher of mine. We just following those footsteps, not perfect, but just striving to be the best. You know what I mean? Whatever we do. Peace.
All right, man. I think the people might want to know. Tell us about y'all's history. How did you guys meet?
Well,
yeah,
go ahead, bro.
Well, I met Brother Solomon. We actually met on a radio show. We went back. We actually were co-host on a show called Carbon Radio. You know what I mean? My man Poverty Supreme. At one point, and then we kind of we split ways. You know what I mean? I went my separate way. He went a separate way. Then we met up again on another radio show, the same show. At this point, it was called TRS Carbon Radio. You know what I mean? And it's been, the brother reached out to me. I was on there chopping heads. He was chopping heads, and he reached out, and it's been history, We decided to start. Actually, you see, what's crazy is the people suggested us. They're like, yeah, I should do our own show. So we went out on a limb, and we did our own show. You know what I mean? And the rest is pretty much history, man. Just we started off with nobody listening to us. Like, I mean, I couldn't even hold a thought for more than 20-30 seconds when I first started. Like, it was like something that had to be built up and trained. But Soul of Mine worked with me. You know what I mean? He was holding the shows for the first few months, holding the topic. Then I began to slowly get acclimated, man. And the rest is pretty much history, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Actually, when I first knew about Oh God, he was debating Imam Bashir. I actually knew him from a debate that him and Imam Bashir was going to have a while back, and he was with who he was with Unc, right? Uncle Cat, right? That was on his show, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I wasn't with him. He just kind of was supporting me. You know what I mean? At that point, I was rocking with my bro black atheism.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it was like he was like the young guy coming in that everybody thought was gonna get smacked up by Imam Bashir, and then God fuck around won that debate. So everybody was trying to figure out who is this dude, and that's when I first knew about God. You know, it was actually through the Black Atheist, actually. You know, and then like you said, we actually linked up and was a co-host on the show, and then we linked up again, and then people was asking for us to start our own shit. So basically, like you said, the rest is history. Our shit was always genuine from the start, though. You know, our goal was to just bring information to the people, enlighten the people. You know, try to elevate our demands on the masses. Obviously, we in a state of decadence, living in these hells of North America. And our thing was banging on a cracker, man. That was our main objective. It wasn't about debates. It wasn't about none of that shit. We was coming straight at this fucking beast. You know what I'm saying? And you can listen to our shows and you will see that. Our blog talk shows. But as you get acclimated within this conscious community, there's a lot of shit we got to clean up before we start talking about this cracker, man. We got to get our shit together. And I guess this is one of the reasons why, Brother D Red, the blue collar scholar, have us on this platform is to, kind of, do things or redirect the conscious community into a more positive way so it could be something that is productive for the masses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that was powerful. How to meet somebody that you vibe with on the show. It's kind of like how me and Godiah met on Carl's show. So that's and how I met Perry, how I met you guys. You know what I mean? So I think that's interesting. Uh, Tell us about. Did you guys start out with YouTube, or did you start out with your show? How did you guys show start out? What was the incubation of the show? And what did you think? What type of content were you trying to bring?
Well, like when we first started, YouTube was a separate inception from the radio. We was paying like $100 a month. You know what I mean? We was very, very passionate at this point in time, man. Like we were talking about, I mean, we had so many topics. It was crazy. I mean, we was going like 4 or 5 nights a week, 4 hours a night. Like we were just so passionate. And I mean, there's so many different topics, the black athlete, $1 million slaves, you know what I mean? Black and female relationships, and how to destroy racism, white supremacy. We had so much different topics that we dealt with, and we brought a lot of marquee, what they would call in the conscious community, people onto the show. And again, that's what we started with. Then we kind of got immersed. The people came, because the people have seen our fire and how we was banging out. So that was like, we got some situation going on with the scam shit. We want to know what y'all want to do about this. You know what I mean? So that's how we really kind of got thrusted on YouTube, because the brother who had got his money taken, he was like, yo, post your videos on YouTube. I was never thinking about YouTube. Probably would have never done it to this day. That really wasn't my thing. But once we got on, it's a little addictive a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? That people on here for attention, and they on here to get as much people as possible to look at their videos. If not, they lying to you, man. This is what it is. So, people received our message. Had some haters, but for the most part, they received us. And we're here today, man, with, doing pretty good with this shit, man. You go ahead, Brother Solar, if you want to answer that.
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much cleaned that up pretty well. Initially, like I said, we were dedicated to uplifting the people. You know what I'm saying? Bringing them information, about white supremacy, because despite of us, within our little circle on how we view, the conscious community and our perspectives and how we operate within this little circle, the masses of African Americans don't even think that the white man is the enemy. They don't believe that the white man is one of the key components to our condition. So I felt as though, me and Brother Ogar, felt as though it was incumbent to kind of bring some things to light. And then, in a way that is simple for the masses to, gravitate to. That, when they see it, they be like, yeah, you know what? I was thinking that, you know what I'm saying? But, some people ain't really had a heart to say it, So that's why, like you said, we did like the $1 Million Slave and, different shows that would kind of bring light into our condition. Because when you look at us as a people and other groups of people that came later that didn't really have the full American experience, immigrants such as, the East Indian, the Pakistanis, and, different ethnic groups that came later, they look at us and they wonder why we act the way we act, and they wonder why we conduct ourselves in such a ratchet manner at times. And you gotta bring them into reality as to, the history of what we've been through and why we are in this condition. So, this is what initially what the goal was, to enlighten the masses and also, bring a perspective, a unique perspective that was going to kind of elevate everybody's minds into understanding, why Black people are in such a crazy condition at the time, and why do we respond to things in such a manner, and why do we act the way we do. So, eventually, as we got acclimated within the conscious community, we began to, see certain things and get involved in certain conversations. That's kind of was off the record. We had plenty of conversations with Polite and Inky and all them motherfuckers. And eventually, like what Brother Ogar said, we got fed certain information. And us being like, as passionate as we were, we felt as though that, certain things we had to just bring to light due to the fact that, in order for us to, kind of build the conscious community in a positive way, we have to like rid all the, all the evil shit that was going on within the conscious community first. We got to kick out all the roaches, you know what I'm saying? So we brought the brother on, and then from there, kind of led into a whole thing that kind of thrust us into the YouTube world. And from there, we kind of just took advantage of it.
Okay. So what made you guys think that who was the first third, I hate to say third wheel because that sounds bad, but who was the first person that you guys added that was a third member? And why did you guys want to bring in a third member?
Well, that was Sister Renee, right, brother? Yeah. Your phone you muted out, oh? Yeah, I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, you still having some problems, oh God, man. You gotta you still having some problems.
I answered the question while he get his vocals together. Well, the first person was Sister Renee. It's on mute now. Take it off mute, oh.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, oh.
All right. Yeah, what I was gonna say is, Sister Renee, you hit it on the head. We had been on. You had some run-ins with her, debates with her on Talk Real Solutions. Shout out to Brother Tyrone. And we seen her, she was real sharp. And we at that point we needed to add a female, you know what I'm saying? We was looking to add the feminine, because we seen at other platforms in the conscious community, they didn't have that female like presence on there like that. So we was like, yo, she'd be a great fit to what we trying to do. I mean, she was smart, she was intelligent, She knew all the history and all that. You know what I mean? She could read off statistics and all that. So it was a great, you know what I mean, fit. And when she came on, I mean, we was just like, we went from here to here. We was already rolling. But she came in and, you know, but what everything comes as pros and as cons. You know what I mean? But when we was on the air, we was the best, like, at this when we was on the air. Off the air is a different story. You know what I mean? But when we was on the air, we delivered. I mean, it was just, we had a great program. You know what I mean? It wasn't perfect. We had to tweak some things, but it was powerful, man. So we felt like that was like the thing to take us, you know what I mean? Because you had the balance, you had the, you know, the scholarly with the solar mind. You know, I'm the banger, the flamethrower. You know what I mean? You got the sister kind of do a little bit of both sometimes, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like a perfect, you know what I mean, thing for the conscious community, you know what I mean, at the time. But it just seems like in this community that the men and the female, like Zaza and Griff, they was powerful together. Just couldn't quite get along. So you know, you want to finish that up, brother, since you had a lot of run-ins with the sister, Solar Mind. You know what I mean? I don't want to take the whole question.
I had a lot of run-ins with her. Yo, I knew the sister from, like you said, Talk Real Solutions. Shout out to Brother Tone. And me and her used to have like long ass debates about, you know, the black woman and the you know, the black man, black woman conversations. And, you know, the girl that I was dealing with at the time was a light-skinned black woman, and she had a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? She got into it with her, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, you know, she was very passionate though, you know what I'm saying? And her and Brother Oga linked up, and we was actually having a conversation with who was it? Inky, Polite,
Sutek.
and Sutek. Brother Sinetta set it up. And he was like, yeah, we should bring Sister Renee on. And I'm like, all right, we could bring Renee on. So we brought her on, and she basically destroyed Sutek, man. She destroyed him. So I'm like, yeah, like, damn, we should definitely, yeah, it's official now. Like, you know what I mean? We like a worker Trinity, and it was all good. Like what the brother said, you know, she's a very intelligent female, and she just brought, you know, a lot of things to the table that it was impossible for us to bring, you know what I'm saying, due to the fact that we're males. And you know, she's very, you know, she has a very good memory of statistics. And so it was a good combination. You know what I'm saying? It was a good combination. And it was quite unfortunate that, you know, the series of events that transpired, you know, actually, you know, happened the way it did. And we all, you know, play a part in it, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that pretty much was that, you know, with the Sister Renee experience. You know, I wish her well, you know, in her endeavors, and I know she's doing certain things, you know, still moving on with what she's doing. So I give her a shout out as well.
That's cool. So how did you run across? So was Lex the next person that you guys brought in, or was there somebody in between?
No, I think it was Sister Diamond after that, right?
Nah, it was Lex.
Oh, Lex came before Diamond?
Then it was that. Yeah. I
You
think,
sure?
I don't know, but nevertheless. No, you're right. It was
Diamond came before Lex.
Yeah. It was like she was never really with us. It was kind of like
my aunt was in the mix too. She was kind of floating around too then.
Yeah, we had another sister named Mayat that we went back with that was really pretty powerful. But how we got up with Lex is that, like Lex said in his video, which was true, we never really got along. Him and Solomon got more of a history than I got. I ain't never really liked the nigga like that, but we hooked up on the premise of banging on the white boy Basim. You know what I mean? So it was just like, you know, we was talking a few times, and I was like, you know, he started banging and shit. We started posting his video, so it was a good, you know, it was a good fit for a while, as long as he stood on the truth. You know what I mean? And you know, we had our back and forth, but to this day, I just want this brother just to focus on him and build his own platform, man. He could be very successful. You know what I mean? If he just focus on him and put the work in to build his own platform and stop trying to worry about all these what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? That's my advice would be to you know, the Lex Vortex. But I mean, y'all seen it. I mean, we had a good brother's very smart, very intelligent. He brought another dynamic. You know what I mean? He invented, not invented, but he made more famous again, like the talking over the beats. I give him credit for that. You know what I mean? He was a brilliant mind, but like I said, with everything comes pros and its cons, and you got to put it on the balance and say, is it worth it to do this? And you know what I mean, to keep him or let him go. And it's like I feel bad for him, because if he would have just hung in there, he would have been a little better off, you know, at least financially at this point. You know what I mean? But he got enticed. You know what I mean? He kind of moved on. But still, I mean, I don't think he still got a shot to it's all on him. Can't nobody stop him from posting his videos and teaching. Can't nobody stop him. He can work his ass off, or he can sit back and criticize other people and what they should have did or what they could have did. But it was great when we had him here. We appreciated what he did. I just wish that he would have, you know, went a different way. But there's nothing I could do about that. Lex is a grown-ass man at the end of the day. I wish him the best. Even though we take shots at each other all day long, I still wish him the best. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead, Solo. My bad. Go ahead, Solo.
yeah. Well, I personally met Lex a while ago. He was kind of like floating on the Army Rod Squad. Uncle would have a show every Sunday, and he would come on there. You know, he was a Hebrew Israelite then, and he was defending the Israelite doctrine, and he was trying to challenge Ngozi to a debate at that time. And me and him linked up. Me and him actually had a conversation the night before that debate that he had with Ngozi, and from there we began to build, and then it kind of was that, you know. And then once I started the platform with Oh God, I think we had a falling out because, you know, when we was on the, you know how Unc do. Unc gets on the blog talk, and he just be bullshitting, and we just like cracking jokes and shit. So I guess he thought that I was siding with them or whatever. So I guess that was the falling out part. I didn't realize that until later on. But so me and Ogar hooks up, and I guess he don't like us. He didn't like me no more because of that. So it was like this whole thing with that. You know, he challenged me to a debate that he ran from. Is the white man a devil? And he ran in the preliminary. He quit. And then, you know, like what the brother Ogar said, you know, we had the situation with Brother Bassem, and he kind of, you know, took sides with us, you know what I mean, on that whole deal. It was real talk, you know what I'm saying? We can't let no other motherfucker in our culture, you know what I'm saying? So he jumped in the middle of that, and from there, we brought him in our circle, and this was kind of coming at, you know, the whole situation with Nazi, which also involved Bassem, because it was, you know, Nazi went on his platform to talk about polite, you know, and that led to Sinetta responding. So, you know, when you look at it, Bassem was always kind of entrenching himself into our little beefs, our little squabbles, you know. But yeah, back to Lex. He got involved with us or whatever, and we, you know, began to post his videos up. He was all for, you know, the whole thing. He was very passionate, you know what I mean? And I think that it was one day that he asked for Sinetta's number. He called me, asked for Sinetta's number. So I'm like, yo, now I'm gonna give you the number, because I'm not gonna hold a motherfucker from talking to him. Now I don't do shit like that. If you want to talk to him, you go to number. But I'm saying, I'm gonna let you know he's a slick motherfucker, man. He's like, all right, you know, it's all good. I'm like, yo, what you want to rap to him about? Then I just want to talk to him about some things, and all right, gave him the number. And then, you know, slowly you begin to see his perspective kind of changing, and him trying to play the balance. He didn't know Sinetta was playing him the whole time. We was telling him, you know what I mean? I don't want to get too much into that because it's the past. But we was always telling him, like, yo, we know how this man play. He kind of trying to cause division. He got lulled to sleep by the man, and eventually he kind of, like, you know, flip-flopped, you know. So, that was that with that brother. He was not ready for in the black media. He was not ready. He was not ready for in the black media. Me and brother Ogard cut from a different cloth. And this is real talk. We don't never argue. Me and brother Ogard never argue about anything.
Facts.
Since I met him. I mean, we had one argument that was over Lex. One argument. That was over Lex. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really an argument. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, so we cut from a different cloth. You know what I'm saying? And when he got involved with the whole Sinetta shit, it was constant bickering, constant shit. Like he knew what the fuck he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, he made his move. We see where he's at now. You know what I'm saying? We see where he's at now, and that's history. Hopefully he'll learn from it.
So, do you guys think that you guys would ever do the whole bring a
No.
third party in it? No. Anyway, let me finish that question. Okay.
Nah, it's like if somebody snake you, because it's like what happened was it wasn't none of this banging would have ever happened. All you had to do was just let us know as a man, like, yo, like if you with your man Godiah and y'all beefing with somebody like that, he just jump or you jump on the other side. Okay, that's one thing, but damn, you didn't even tell me, dog. You ain't even speak to me. Don't try to act like we had problems. He tried to say we had problems. We ain't had no problems like that. We just had a conversation with him the day before. We had a little argument. It was about Jesus or something. We had an argument about. It wasn't nothing big. So it wasn't really no problems like that. You can't just jump like that. But that was the whole thing. So we feel like, okay, it's on now and shit. All you got to do is be like, you know what, yo, it ain't working out here. I want to see what the HOK is like. Boom, but he would have did his thing, whatever. We would have never, ever banged on him. We would have just went our separate way. That's just that, though. But go ahead, brother D-Red.
No, I was just like I said. My whole thing was I was just asking because I know the people probably want to know what you ever think about bringing somebody else on, but y'all pretty much did it that before I could even
Somebody, I
finish
thought
that.
you said bringing Lex back on.
No.
Yeah.
I was trying to say, would you guys ever consider bringing another third party back on?
I guess, I mean, under certain circumstances, because it's like dealing with personalities, man. You almost got to do it like Sinetta do it a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's like they start wanting more than what they really worth. And that's not like a shot at nobody. But again, when we started this thing, man, we was putting money into it. You know what I mean? Traveling to New York. Like we was at the ground stages of it. So you can't just come in, almost like the debate with Pharaoh and Seti, it goes back and forth. But it's like you can't come in and say, okay, I want same thing with Sister Renee. You want something that some money or something we ain't even make yet. You can't do that. Like it's like, it's not like we stingy. Like we was gonna say, Lex don't tell y'all this. We was gonna buy he ain't have a laptop, so we was putting some money together to buy him a laptop. Now at that time we struggling like everybody else. Money wasn't really coming in like that. It's pennies here and there, but we was still paying. So we was like gonna get a brother a laptop. We was gonna do it slowly but surely, get him a camera, and then start breaking him off a little bit of, to take care of himself and shit. But motherfuckers when they get into that spotlight, when people start leaving them comments and they start feeling themselves and Vortex this, they start getting real big headed and shit. You see Pharaoh, y'all see how set he is. Them niggas, you can't tell them niggas shit. So when that shit begin to happen, it's like I can't even talk. You know how many arguments me and Lex had and shit? And I fuck with Lex more than Solomon was fucking with Lex. Like me and Lex was rocking out, talking for hours on the phone. I was rocking out with him. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want to listen. He thought he knew it better than me. So that's that, man.
Yeah, I think that, I call it the Malcolm X complex. Like what the brother said, he's reading those comments. Comments like, yeah, you the smartest one out of the three. And so it was like, it began to reflect on how he, mainly with Ogard, or how he was communicating with Ogard. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, dude, you may be more well-spoken, you know what I'm saying, but you're not smarter than Ogard. This is my opinion. It's just my opinion. But I know both of them. So it's just like, that kind of led into a conflict along with the side of the shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yeah, you got to be responsible on not just, the positive and the negative comments on the YouTube page. Like, Brother Oh God know my approach. I don't even address certain shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't address certain shit, so it's just like, you got to be responsible on how you deal with that. And some people can't handle it. You know what I mean? And this goes back into a lot of motherfuckers ain't really built for this shit. Motherfuckers be looking at, you look at SETI and a lot of motherfuckers look at SETI, for example, and say, well, I could do that shit. You know what I mean? And they just looking at the positive aspect of it. You know what I mean? People like, yeah, cheering them on and all that shit. But it's another side to that shit. You know what I mean? And I think that Lex got lured. He got lured. Sarnetta knew how to get that motherfucker. Sarnetta knew how to get him. And he lured him. And he got him. Now you see Sarnetta banged on him. You know what I mean? Now it's like, hopefully he learned from the situation. You know what I'm saying? We was really rocking out. We was really rocking out for him. Like what Brother Old God said, we wanted to look out for him. He had certain financial situations that we wanted to, accommodate for. If he would have stuck around, he would have been in a better situation. I believe he would have been in a better situation than what he is now. Had he remained loyal to In the Black Media. You know what I'm saying? So we learned our lesson from that as well. You know what I'm saying? From all the situations, including, the whole fiasco with Sister Diamond. Like what the brother said, she wasn't necessarily a member, a total member. We were just trying to get her acclimated within a process, and there was a lot of things that was going on at the time, which kind of, corrupted that whole, thing, So it was like, all that is a learning experience. We just got to move on from it and just learn how to deal with personalities and kind of, I guess, be wary of who we letting into our circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's like for him, just to say this, people say you shouldn't say it, but I think I should. Like, we really doing we've been blessed so much from the work that we put in that I just walked off my job and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the conversation that we having now. Like, when we gonna leave our jobs and shit to go full time into the media shit. And that's what I try to tell Lex. Like, damn, like you left a little too early, dog. All you had to do was just be a little bit of loyalty, and dividends would have been given. But hey, man, what can you do? But go ahead, brother D.
This the motherfucker though, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the Lex shit was personal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Sister Renee situation was personal, but we understand that as a female. You know what I'm saying? And, I could see how she could be lured to sleep because Sarnetta did the same thing with her. You know what I'm saying? But with Lex, it's like, we kind of like brought you out. You know what I'm saying? We brought you into this shit. And it was like, his head got puffed up, and then he just wanted to kind of like, he shitted on us. You know what I'm saying? To be frank. You know what I mean? It was like like what the brother said, last night we was talking with the brother, and next day he's on Sarnetta TV. So it's like, damn, like this nigga on Sarnetta TV. You know what I mean? This is at the time we was beefing with Sarnetta. You know what I mean? It's funny, it's funny at what a week could do. What Jay-Z, it was all good just a week ago, right? Him and Sarnetta, it was all good just a week ago. Now we cool with Sarnetta and he don't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he put himself in a situation where as though now he got to kind of really start over.
Okay, let's talk about that because I heard Sarnetta say something about that on one of his feeds. He was saying like that he was cool with In the Black. He said y'all talking now. How is that relationship going between y'all guys?
It's day by day.
Yeah, when he mean by day, it's like it's literally like day by day. Cause it's like it's been so much mud thrown between us. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I'm sure we both making our moves and shit. It's almost like it was like you threatened to kill a nigga before, and y'all said over the phone like we're gonna squash it. But these niggas might still have a pistol. You might still have a pistol and shit. So you never kind of know when this shit can get popping again. But you're kind of looking at each other like, if this nigga ready, I'm ready. You know what I mean? So that's just, you know, he called me a few minutes ago about something. So we just trying to see how it go. You know what I mean? But we know you can forgive, but you never forget is the way I was kind of brought up and shit. You know what I mean? So our eyes is definitely open.
Yeah, I mean, because really the beef wasn't really between Sinetta directly. It was just like he pushed himself into the forefront because Polite, you know, he was too pussy to even say anything at a point in time. He was exposing him. So a lot of heads had to be chopped off. A lot of bridges had to be burnt. You know, I remember I was with Bashir, you know, the pretend imam. You know, we had to cut his head off. He sided with them motherfuckers. Sinetta thrust himself into the situation, so Sinetta began to, you know, attack our platform, so we began to attack his platform. But once the whole situation with him and Polite began to escalate, he kind of reached out to us. You know, and slowly but surely we began to have a working relationship where we talk on occasions, you know. And, you know, that's just where's it at now. You know, it's just, you know, he invited us to the event tomorrow. So, you know, it's just like, you know, he just, you know, opening up the door for, you know, us to kind of, you know, build off of all the crazy shit that we did to tear each other down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You got something you want to say? Cause I was finna go on to the event. Like, you know, let's talk about that since I was invited to the event. You know, but you want to add before we go into the D-Red?
No, what I was saying was like, my question was about the whole another thing. Like, how did you guys feel when you guys went after Polite and Sinetta in defense of Polite lashed out? How did that, you know, how did that make what you guys surprised? Were you guys kind of like, you know what I mean, kind of expecting that? I mean, how did that make you guys feel? What was you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, made me kind of feel like he was covering up. Like, damn, this nigga is snake. Like, that's how I was feeling. Like, yo, like we put out the evidence out there, and it's like, really at that point though, I gotta be honest, because I didn't know how deep it was and shit. I thought it was just an isolated situation where, you know what I mean? See, the thing is though, I read the emails. Once I read the emails, it's one thing. It's almost like listening to a conversation. Like now you get to see like, all right, what type of nigga this is. So it's like let's say if I owe D-Red like $10,000, you know what I mean? And I'm giving this nigga the runaround for months. Like I'm giving him every excuse, like, oh, my girlfriend's sick, my baby's in the hospital, you know, my toes broken. And you start seeing this shit in the email, you're like, hey, this nigga, oh God, the foul nigga. That's how I started seeing Polite. And then it's like people was telling me it was calling Sinetta, and you know what I mean? He wasn't really, but I think behind the scenes, Sinetta did admit that he was trying to get with him behind the scenes. But like they just didn't want to do it in the public. It finally spilled over just recently. But I thought he was a fuck nigga for that, man. I really thought he was like, and then he would have to get that heat too then. Whoever jumped up, and mad people jumped up. Inky jumped up, Sankofa, Sutek, we battled all them niggas. Like all them niggas jumped up. You know what I mean? We seen what happened, but you know, we was at war. So at war, it's casualties of war. You know what I mean? But I don't hold nothing against them brothers to this day. I mean, I don't fuck with Polite. But like them other brothers, they were just soldiers. And I was a soldier and we were just fighting. You know what I mean? I don't wish no harm on none of them cats, though. None of them. I don't have no ill will in my heart. All the shit that was done, addresses got put up. All types of crazy shit done popped off with that shit. But I will say this. I think there definitely is agent provocateurs in this in the situation in the conscious community. I think it's people on both sides who wait for shit to pop off and start, sharing different things with other people. You know what I mean? I definitely think it's that in the conscious community, yo. Definitely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on that. I believe that it is definitely some agent provocateurs in the community. I have to agree with you 9,000,000%. I know that ain't real people, so I'm just being silly, but I have to agree with you on that wholeheartedly. That is definitely some agent provocateurs in this mother. So my next my next thing I want to what do you guys think about the current state? What all the stuff that's going on right now? What do you guys think about that? Like, off the air, I talked to Solar and was letting them know that I liked his breakdown of Young Pseudo. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on record as saying anybody who pays to go see Young Pharaoh say any goddamn thing is a goddamn idiot. I don't give a damn if you're going to see this dude recite the Pledge of Allegiance. You are a damn idiot because he's going to make something pseudo out of the Pledge of Allegiance. He is just that damn pseudo. Like, you might as well go listen to somebody read a goddamn Dr. Seuss book if you're going to go listen to this dude speak. This is how ridiculous the stuff this dude be saying is. I mean, especially after the whole Dr. Mahat debacle, when she basically showed that the whole picture that he posted about the alien shit was Photoshop. Like, this dude is ridiculous. I mean, I'm gonna stop because I can go on and on about how ridiculous I think his information is. But Solar was not defending him in like a defense type posture, but he was just basically saying, making his bond by saying he was young, which I agree. You see what I'm saying? And I might have a follow up question to this initial question, but like, what do you guys think about all of this?
Go ahead, Solar. You can
Yeah, like I said, just the whole thing in itself, it's just letting us know that we got a lot of work to do. I mean, the masses have been lulled to sleep. They are now accustomed to seeing these type of events, and they think that this is something positive for Black people. Which, in a way, it is. It's kind of like edutainment, but as far as something on the note, like something that's going to be productive and conducive to uplifting the Black community, it's not really going to go there. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to go there. I think that what Black people need to do is they need to individually work on themselves. Everybody got to work on themselves, because I think that one of the main problems is that when we get together, due to a lot of our ailments, it's hard for us to work together. You know, we got a lot of character flaws personally, everybody. And then obviously with the post-traumatic slave syndrome added to that, it's kind of hard for us to work together. So I think that each Black person needs to stop trying to save the Black people and save themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's what we should be focused in on.
See, now I agree right there, 100%. Now that's why I get you. Now you get my vote. Now let's stay right there for a second. What would be some of your suggestions on how we should work on ourselves and getting that part of it done so we can come together and work together? What would you say there?
Well, each situation is personal. I mean, the African proverb was know thyself. So you got to really analyze yourself. Analyze, some things that you can see, like, character flaws, certain things that you do that may be offensive to other people. Try to learn how to work with other people, things of that nature. This is why they had rites of passage in African culture. They had a rites of passage because this is how we acclimate boys into becoming men and becoming responsible and knowing how to deal with leadership roles. A lot of us had this false notion of leadership. We think that, because we stand in front of a crowd and can be very articulate and get the crowd to cheer for them, that's, displaying, signs of leadership. When you look at like one of the best leaders within, American history, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had a speech impediment, so it was like, but he was a great organizer. He knew how to unite the men, knew how to clean men up. Those things are now taken for granted. I call it the Malcolm X complex, because everybody wants to be the Malcolm X, but we don't have any Elijah Muhammads. People that's going to sit back don't want the limelight. They want to sit back and, kind of groom people to be the Malcolm X's and the Farrakhan's and the Khaleds. So this is what you see now. I did a video called Young Pharaoh, the prima donna of the conscious community. Because due to his Malcolm X complex, he has such a big head now that if anybody say anything negative about his information, he wants to fight them. So this is like psychological. So it's like, we have to work on ourselves before we begin to present ourselves as leaders of a community. And that's to each own, person. Like, when you begin to analyze yourself, you'll see a lot of things, a lot of character flaws. But people, it's harder for you to analyze yourself because that means you have work to do. It's easy for me to say that, well, the Black community needs this and that. But when I analyze myself, that means that, okay, damn, yeah, I'm getting sick from eating a certain type of way. So that means I gotta watch my diet. That's hard for a lot of people. But that's from analyzing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or, I gotta get off the drugs. Things of that nature.
See, I agree with that. I agree with that. We did a show, our last show, we had Taharka Bay, we had Divine Prospect on, and Solo, me and you, you and Gadiah talked about this a little bit before the show started. We was talking about creating a rites of passage. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about that? Because I'm trying to get a lot of the larger platforms. You guys, Taharka, Divine with his Kingdom Harbinger Ministry. Shout out to Divine. Shout out to Taharka. Uh, I'm trying to get a lot of these guys with a larger platform to, and the reason what made me really start thinking about this hard is because I listened to some Captain Tazariak talked about. Shout out to the Cap. When they were talking about before a brother gets the chance to speak on the streets, you know what I'm saying? He has to be taught. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the issues that we're dealing with in the conscious community at the present time, as far as with the little badass kid that done got out of control, wouldn't have happened had we had a rites of passage. And I think that, and like I told you, Solar off air, that you guys as media, you guys' responsibility is so great. And I think sometimes us as a people take it for granted. And I think sometimes even you guys take it for granted and don't realize the responsibility that you have, that being media, of who you give the spotlight to. And I think Sarnetta may have, in my personal opinion, got so caught up in the entertainment aspect and the viewer aspect that he neglected his responsibility as media by not filtering or doing more his due diligence in regards to finding out more about the character of the people that he's bringing on the show. What do you guys think about in regards to creating a rites of passage as a community? That way, we don't have any more of these types of situations.
Yeah, that's brilliantly stated. The character, that's big because it's gonna let you know how they're gonna react to certain situations. Now, you got people. I was talking to Sinetta earlier, and he said somebody asked Pharaoh, "What about the people that was, that bought their plane tickets, that was coming to see all of them?" He said, "I don't give a fuck about the people." You got people like Polite, who didn't give a fuck about the people, who would take their money, you know what I mean, for services that didn't even exist, keep it, run off, and then call them animals. The character, we cannot. And Sinetta is definitely guilty of this. He admitted it. Like, we can't have people in the conscious community that are going to be detrimental, to the greater community. In the conscious community, obviously, like your character has to be in good standing. So when you're talking about rites of passage, yeah, we need to have a system where these men and women are brought up to, like, you're not going to do this to your people because it's a reflection upon the whole community. You know what I mean? It used to be like that back in the day. Like, what you did was reflected upon your whole family. Like, your family would shame you for that. Right now, it's just every man for themselves. Brothers is trying to get money, and the way that it's going is like we pushing ourselves further and further to extinction. You know what I mean? Because we don't care about each other. In fact, I think a lot of us hate each other, man. A lot of self-hate is evident. You know what I mean? So it's big that when we pushing, because when we put people on a platform, Sinetta got 90,000 subscribers on Black News. You know what I mean? You putting a scam artist and a thief in front of all the people just because he gives you puts money in your pocket and is getting thousands of views, but on the back end he's robbing the people blind. You doing the community a disservice. You doing more harm than you are good. He might come and say some, and it might just sound good and everything. The words are good, and you got young Marcus wanting to be like him, but on the back end he's robbing motherfuckers blind, man. Excuse me for cussing on the program, but it's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's our duty, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that the people that we put out, and including ourselves, that we have a good character. You know what I mean? So that's a work in progress, man. And I see too much of it in the conscious community. It's too much scumbags, man. You know how white people call people scumbags. There's too much scumbags in the conscious community who just get into it for a hustle. You know what I mean? It ain't really not about, uplifting the people. You know what I mean? You could do both at the end of the day. You could get money and uplift the people. It's been leaders who done it. You know what I mean? But go ahead, bro, Solar, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking on Young Pharaoh, if anybody was like, privy to listening to his story, he just got out of jail in 2014. So he kind of like, had an instant, claim to fame, if you want to, categorize it at that. But the young man just got out of jail. So, I mean, anybody who was locked up state knows the type of environment he was coming out of. So it's like, that goes back into what I was saying before about, working on yourself before you think you're going to come and save the world. We went on this whole like campaign of saving the world, and we not really working on ourselves. And it begins to reflect, once situations begin to arise that you haven't worked on yourself. Speaking specifically on a young man, he threatening the sister. 1 minute the black woman's guide until she offends him. Then you calling her ugly. Then you calling her all types of derogatory names. And then like 1 minute you for the unity of black people. And then the next minute when somebody critiques your information, you calling them a bitch ass nigga and you want to punch them in the face. Those are not leadership qualities. Those are not things that we should, be saying in public as a leader of the community. And I know, it's coming from in the black media. We see a lot of crazy shit too.
Yeah.
But like, we all got to deal with ourselves, man. I think that, that is the root of all religions. Not to get religious, but whatever religion you in, when you look at the very foundation of it, from the practices and the prayers and all the things of that nature, it's really like different customary things to work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because once you master yourself, you could do anything.
Facts. That's a fact.
So now,
Okay.
no. What I was gonna say is, so some of the stuff that's being brought out, personal. You know what I mean? Now we know I'm pretty much everybody on the panel pretty much agree that Pharaoh's suit his information. It's not a personal thing, but his information is whack, pseudo. You know what I mean? But what do you guys feel about how personal some of these attacks are getting? I mean, some of these guys are talking about it. Said he, you know, is basically a homo, and Dr. Mayad is a rat, and you know what I mean. Like, what do you guys think about the turn of events and how ugly that it turned, and do you guys feel that that's going to affect the community?
Well, real quick, oh, you put the video up. What I'll say is, it's been like that for a while, man, and it's really just a reflection of our condition as a whole, black people as a whole. I mean, we all have done things in the past. You know what I mean? Criminal. And they said he was on some homo stuff, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's like my thing is with these dudes is that they know this stuff, and the only time they really want to bring it out is when they get into the beef and all that. You know what I'm saying? But these attacks are getting to the point where it's somebody's going to flip the script one of these times at one of these events or something. You know what I mean? Because people's threatening each other. You got people talking about they're gonna pull them out their car, and he said he gonna throw her son off the roof. You got cats showing AK-47s, and in the meantime, nobody's doing nothing. The white man, he got to be sitting back laughing. Matter of fact, I seen a comment before I passed the microphone. The person said they was white, and they was like, my whole college dorm looks at the conscious community for entertainment on a daily basis. That's what I seen in the comments. I forget what video. So it's just sad, man. It's really just sad, and we all played a part. I throw, the craziest shots at people. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna make no excuses, but it was shots thrown at me also. You know what I mean? And it's just like, we got to do better. And I'm speaking for myself, but I'll let Solomon answer the back end of that.
Yeah, can you repeat the question, bro?
I was asking you guys, what do you guys think about all the personal attacks? And I was saying that we all know information wise, Pharaoh is pretty much not ready. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the personal shots, the Dr. Mahada snitch and said he's a homo, and you know what I mean, all of these personal attacks and how ugly that has gotten. Like, what do you think? As media, like, I know it's easy for you guys to, like, what do you guys feel about that as media, and how do you guys go about deciding, what I'm saying, we're going to go with this story, we're not going to go with that story, or we're not even going to even talk about that, we're going to move on? Like, how do you guys feel about it, and how you guys go about decide what you guys are going to discuss on air, what you guys not going to discuss?
Yeah, well, it's certain things are just childish. It's kind of like the name calling thing back in the day. Really when it's like I'm mad because my mom couldn't afford the Jordans and this guy got the Jordans on. So it's like, you try to find something to, name call or mess with them about. You know what I'm saying? So it's similar to like, the whole thing that's going on within the conscious community. With the young man, young Pharaoh, he once he begins to get a backlash with his information, and he's very intelligent. I mean, for the pseudo category, he's very intelligent, but his information is just pseudo. I mean, he's like, he has a good memory. He presents his information very well. He's very learned in his pseudo information. So it's not like he's a dumb, individual or individual that's not intelligent. It's just that, I disagree with the information. So it's like, once his information began to get critiqued, and really when he didn't really have a response to the people that was critiquing him, such as YK, shout out to him, he began to name call. He went back into his niggerism. When all else fails, he goes back to being a nigger. So that shows that he was not ready for, to be, he thrust himself, into this leadership position, and he was not really groomed enough to handle the backlash. So that comes with responsibility. As far as with the whole atmosphere, it's kind of like it was created by a lot of these platforms. You know what I'm saying? The personal attacks, looking at people's background and all that type of things and all that. I'm on a note like, if there ain't nothing that's going to affect the community, I'm not going to really deal with it. So like the situation with Sister Ma'at, whatever the situation was in her past that she got a criminal record for, it is not really affecting the community. So it's really none of my business. It's totally different from a polite situation where it's though, okay, he actually scammed somebody, so we don't want him scamming nobody no more, so we're going to bring that out. As opposed to a sister getting into a situation in the past and she kind of moved on from that and trying to do stuff positive for the community. So that's really none of my business because it's not affecting the community. So, the whole thing is being brought out. It got real childish because people got their emotions wrapped or their egos wrapped around that Malcolm X complex that I was talking about earlier. And there's a lot of money involved as well. So it's like I'm living off of this image that I'm selling to the people. And by any means, I'm going to maintain that. That's how they view it.
Wow, that sound about right. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm sitting back and I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, this shit is. You know what I mean? And what O said was powerful about the white guy who said they look at the black conscious community for entertainment. You know, that's uh that's not a good look, man. That's you know what I mean. That makes us look like we're doing something totally wrong. And shoot, I ain't gonna hold you guys up. We gonna get ready and close out. I want to ask you, how did you guys come about meeting my boy ID, man? We gonna end on my boy ID and we gonna get ready to close on out.
I'm gonna say this first. I'm gonna let Solomon because he really got known, but I'm gonna apologize real for being late. Had to take my girl to her at the last minute. I don't want y'all to think that I was being big headed, like I could be late. My bad. Hope y'all accept my apology. I apologize for wasting your time. I didn't mean to do it like that. So I just want to say that real quick. But go ahead, brother Solar. You can answer that. Cause I know you met ID way before I did. Israel Doctrine.
Yeah, well, yeah, he had a little blog talk show. I mean, this is when when I was in my, Black Power bag, and I'm reading all these books. So I used to go like, in a way, troll different. This is before I had my own blog talk show. So I used to go and troll different blog talk shows just to, show off the little bit of shit that I was reading about and try to, present myself as if I was this person with all this knowledge. And I used to mess with particularly Christians, and I just came across this blog talk show and calling and used to be trolling them, really getting into little heated conversations about the Bible and all those things of that nature, you know. But anybody that once they get really entrenched into like information and wanting to know more and more and more, it gets to a point where you're humbled by the fact that you don't really know nothing. It takes you a certain amount of books to read to find out that you don't know nothing, and it's going to be impossible for you to know, you know, even like 1% of the knowledge on the planet. So it kind of humbles you to the point where everybody's perspective is taken for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like your perspective is my perspective is over your perspective. It's just like, that's where you at with it, and that's where he's at with it. But that's where I met Israel Doctrine. And I think that how did he get acclimated within the I think that when we was doing It was Feet on the Ground. I was with Feet on the Ground at the time, and we brought him on just to smack him up. And he somehow got connected with Signet. I forget how what happened. But from there he was like beginning to explore the conscious community, and somehow he got acclimated with Sinetta, and then he had the whole debate with my aunt. And then from there he kind of like he kind of groomed himself to be a fairly good host as far as with what he's doing on YouTube. You know what I mean? So I seen his growth, and it's definitely we all are work in progress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and definitely. I'm gonna say this real. The brother's dedicated because, like he said, he was paying like the blog talk joint, rocking out for a long time. I think he was doing a couple shows a day. So, and I seen it was one point a few months ago he was in a real good groove, with his YouTube joint and shit. And they shut down his account. He got a lot of potential, you know what I'm saying, to do a lot of things over there. And I told him, don't stop. Like, keep on talking about what's going on in the community. Because we need, like, somebody who's going to talk about what's going on. We need, like, a news outlet. That could be, like, his niche right there. Like, we're going to go to Israel Doctrines. I was listening to him sometimes when I was working. Let me see what's going on in the community, catch up. What's good. Israel Doctrines going to play the clips and analyze it. So, that's a good brother. We had our beef in the past and whatnot. That's one guy you don't really want on you because he's gonna stay on you, and he's gonna keep boom, boom. He's annoying as shit if he get on you. So, but shout out to Israel Doctrine, though.
Yeah, we all know how ID can be, man. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, I also want to say, man, I appreciate you guys being on the show, man, and coming through, man. You boys can come through whenever you get ready. Anytime you feel like y'all gotta want to get something off y'all chest that y'all don't want to get off on y'all show, or just come through just to chop it up on some real nigga shit. Y'all
right.
niggas are always welcome,
Same
man.
for
And
you.
shit, you
We're
know
gonna
what I'm
return the
saying?
favor, man. Y'all come over to the hip hop channel. I want to rock with you on the hip hop channel. Talk about the Houston rap scene too one of these days.
Man,
You know what I mean?
whenever you get ready, man, shit, we can do it, man. We can try to. I can get probably one of my boy AG to come through with me, man. He was CMG with Lil Kiki. I get my boy Lil Head to come with me from Walsh Nest, man. Shout out to Head, shout out to AG, shout out to Key, man. And shoot, get one of them cats over there with me, and we could all just chop it up, man. So whenever
No
you
doubt.
ready, man, just let me know, and we can set it up. But yeah,
No doubt.
man, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you boys for coming through, man. Y'all ain't coming through with the big head like. I mean, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We try to keep our show, on some PI stuff, man. But you guys, boys, you got a good platform, man. Check these boys out, man. Check out all their channels, man. Subscribe to all of them, like all the videos you can like, man, and do your thing. And it's TMAC TV, man. We out.
Peace. Appreciate you, bro.